Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why.
You had a hideaway for sea, and nothing but blue skies. We're so pleased to be with you, blue sky, Mr. Blue Sky.
Yes, Sir Hairless here. Today we are back with a patron request. Thank you for this one. This is VoicePlay and it's their cover of the song very, very famous by ELO, Mr. Blue Sky. The musical mastermind behind ELO, Jeff Lynne. In previous videos I've said that I think he is one of the real geniuses in recent musical times. I love ELO. They're in my top 4 bands of all time. I've got the vinyl on my wall right next to me. This song, it's an absolute classic. It's one that everyone knows. I remember ELO played Glastonbury Festival quite recently. Well, probably 8 or 7 years ago or so now. But in my head, it's recently. I knew some people who went and they didn't know who ELO were. Shocking, I know. But they knew this song and yeah, everyone knows this song. I think it's a remarkable song musically. Really simple at points, generally speaking. But it's also complex in so many ways. Complex doesn't necessarily mean good. So its complexities, they're not pretentious. You don't hear it and think, oh, what's this? It's just being tricky for the sake of being tricky, and that's why I think Jeff Lynne was so great. So to be honest, I think this is a challenging song to cover a cappella for a number of reasons that I won't get into, but VoicePlay are amazing from what I've seen. Their arrangements are superb, so I'm not going to sit here and think about what they might do. Let's just get into it. The original song is nearly 5 minutes long. This cover is about 2.5 minutes, so it'll be interesting to see what they decide to cut from the original. As far as my VoicePlay experiences go, I believe this will be my 13th time hearing them. This is an older one. It's from 2019. So the lineup is Jeff, Ellie, Lane, Jay Nunn and Earl Elkins Jr. The same lineup as we had for the Oogie Boogie song.
The sun is shining in the sky. There ain't no clouds in sight. It stopped raining. Everybody's into playing. Don't you know? It's a beautiful new day. Hey, running down the avenue. See how the sun shines brightly in the city. On the streets where once was pity. Mr. Blue Sky is living here today. Hey,
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why.
you had a hideaway for so long. Where did we go wrong? Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why. You had a hideaway for so long. Where did we go wrong? Blue sky smiling at me, and nothing but blue skies do I see. Oh, blue days, all of them gone. Nothing but blue skies from now on. Hey, you with the pretty face.
Words aren't coming out. It's a short one, like I said. We're halfway through, so let's just go on to the end. We don't usually have copyright issues with VoicePlay, and then we'll do the analysis afterwards. Very little interesting excerpt of Blue Skies there, though.
Hey, you with the pretty face. Welcome to the human race. A celebration, Mr. Blue Sky's up there waiting, and today is the day we were waiting for. Oh,
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why.
you had a hideaway for so long. Where did we go wrong? Hey there, Mr. Blue. We're so pleased to be with you. Look around, see what you do. Everybody smiles at you. Hey there, Mr. Blue. We're so pleased to be with you. Look around, see what you do. Everybody smiles at you. Mr. Blue Sky, Mr. Blue Sky. Mr. Blue, you did it right, but soon comes Mr. Night, creeping over, now his hand is on your shoulder. Never mind, I'll remember you this, I'll remember you this.
Well, that was brilliant. That was really good. I really enjoyed that. I'm going to be listening to this many more times afterwards. Nice and short and happy and upbeat, to the point. All right, let's go over and analyse. The key, no surprise here, same key as the original song, the key of F. The opening bass line makes it very, very clear. That note is an F. The tempo, it's quicker than the original song though. I would not have thought that considering this is a cappella. Quick with a cappella, the human voice, much harder to control than actual instruments and fingers. But they pulled it off and I think it worked really, really well. The first harmony that we hear with their singing.
There ain't no clouds in sight.
No clouds in sight. In the original, you know what? I just realised that they're saying no clouds in and not there ain't a cloud. So let's go to the original and hear when the harmony first comes in.
There ain't a cloud in sight.
Not there, but then just afterwards.
It's something, everybody's in the place.
So their harmony comes in before we get the harmony in the original song. I do feel weird saying this. This is a cappella. ELO is very much not a cappella, but ELO do have luscious vocal harmonies in there on top of all the instruments. So that's one consideration VoicePlay have to do here, or Jeff, because it's Jeff's arrangement. Jeff Castellucci, not Jeff Lynne. They're both Jeffs, that's quite a coincidence. Converting the instrumental elements to a cappella, as well as the vocal harmonies you hear, with just 5 voices, 4 of which are actually singing, because Lane is the beat. It's quite the challenge. The lineup, from an arrangement perspective, must be perfect to write for. Beatbox in Lane with the baritone voice if you need, the bass, Bynon as the baritone, then Ellie, the rock tenor, who's kind of acting as a bridge between Bynon and Earl Elkins Jr. Earl's voice, it's crazy. It's really, really nuts. We'll point out some bits in particular later on, but yeah, so distinctive, and I'd love to have someone like that to arrange music for.
It stopped raining, everybody's into playing, don't you know?
I did actually used to sing with someone with a voice like that, where the chest voice just kind of seems to merge into a blended voice and just go up eternally forever, and you kind of assume they can do everything. So it was always fun to write music and arrange with them in mind. Then just after that, things become a lot more a cappella. So I mean, there's less homophony on the lyrics. We've got oohs in the background, so vowel sounds as accompaniment rather than words.
Hey, running down the avenue, see how the sun shines bright.
And going into words to keep things interesting, as we often see VoicePlay do, and I always say that they're great at it. It's the rhythmic varieties we hear, the syncopations, the offbeats. This becomes doubly important when you consider harmony as well, how they've treated the harmony. In this case, and in most cases, you don't change the harmonic progression of the song you're covering. Maybe a bit here and there, a different chord change or a couple of chords, but overall you tend to keep it the same. You know, I believe that harmony is the real musical foundation of music. You change the harmony and suddenly the whole feeling of the song changes. Then everything else, vocal techniques, instrumentation, rhythms, they all enhance the harmony. They've kept the harmony the same so far, which just means that we hear the same chords as the original song in the same order. It is a nice chord progression in the song. Let me hop over to the piano and show you. In the chords that we hear, Jeff is always singing the root note at the bottom. So if we have an F chord, Jeff will be singing an F. If we have a D chord, Jeff will be singing a D. This really enhances the jumpy effect of the bass, because instead of adjusting and picking any of the notes in the chord to sing for minimal movement, he'll be jumping to make sure he's always on the root note. Okay, then we get this bit, the lyrics, Mr. Blue Sky is living here today. There are a couple things about this bit that I'm about to play. First, Lane and Jeff, they're working together to create this kind of sound effect. It's like a harshly bowed cello or double bass, almost this screeching sound.
Mr. Blue Sky is living here today.
Kind of like a... Why it's even more noticeable is because it breaks the structure of the rhythmic consistency we've been hearing so far. In Jeff, in the bass, the constantly repeated notes, you know, that kind of thing. So with a change, with a break away from that,
Mr. Blue Sky is living here today.
This effect is naturally emphasized. And number 2, because of this structural change in the bass part, there are fewer notes being heard because we don't get dum dum dum, instead it's dum dum dum, there's less to listen for in the bass, which means there's more to listen for in the other parts. So the upper three parts, they're in classic three-part homophony, singing the same words at the same time as each other, and it outlines how well their voices work together. Each of their parts suit their individual ranges perfectly.
Once was pity, Mr. Blue Sky is living here today. Hey.
Let me just quickly plug in that little section into music notes. I always find something catchy about the claps. As long as they're used kind of sparingly and at the right moments. Here's an example of a famous song with some very catchy claps. Just after these claps, we get the line, Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away. I want to just show what happens in the original song here first. There are three kind of phrases, Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away. The first phrase, vocally, we get the bass and the baritone. Then we get the baritone and the tenor, and then we get just the tenor, so we're kind of progressively moving up.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away from.
Let's listen to what VoicePlay do.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why
You had to hide away from.
So we start with the bass, just like the original did. This allows for some oohs above in the higher parts. And then we do get higher part or higher parts come in, but they cut out after hide.
You had to hide away from.
It's quite strange and certainly a way to create contrast. This phrase is then repeated shortly afterwards. On this repeat, it is more similar structurally to the original song in terms of that progression of moving up. It's not identical, but moving up overall is that effect that we get.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away from.
And Jeff has gone back to the role of instrumental bass rather than singing the words.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you.
His notes are less frequent than before, which were dum 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 dum. So we have this reduction in terms of sound and also texturally as well. Things seem a bit reduced here. This could be one of the reasons why they don't include this iconic
So long.
I always look out for the so long. But that's fine. Earl Elkins Jr. then has this rather nice and classical sounding suspension.
We go wrong.
Alright, so this is now kind of the standout bit. In the original, guitar solo, and we have the chord of F, our home key. Here though, in VoicePlay, instead of F major, we get F minor. That's unexpected.
Sky smiling at me.
I was thinking just for a short while, okay, they've turned this happy song into the minor equivalent for a bit. Let's see how this plays out. That could be a good change of harmony that I was speaking about earlier, where we don't normally see harmony change that much. But they've put in a different song, Irving Berlin's Blue Skies.
Blue skies smiling at me.
I did see a mention of Blue Skies in the description of the VoicePlay video, but I didn't think much of it. I thought maybe because Jeff Lynne of ELO might have said this song was an inspiration for Mr. Blue Sky or something. So yeah, that's definitely a surprise. The original song is jazzy, as we just heard. There's varied instrumental parts in it.
Smiling at me. Nothing but blue sky.
In VoicePlay, they've kept that bass, the walking bass style, although it's mostly jumps close to or at octaves.
Nothing but blue skies do I see.
And Ellie and Earl, they have their very distinctive ha sounds.
Smiling at me.
Earl with the mostly repeated note, Ellie chromatically coming down, so this is what we hear. Yeah, overall, that's a nice little interlude section, isn't it? Very, very unexpected. And short-lived, we return back to Mr. Blue Sky with a very cool transition, in Lane especially, I think.
Blue skies from now on. Hey, you with the pretty face.
What a sound from Lane. We ended Blue Skies in G sharp. And then for Mr. Blue Sky, we go back to that key of F. It's a bit of a weird modulation, but by choosing to use the bass line here, that's the main component of the change, so it's pretty smooth.
From now on. Hey, you with the pretty face. Welcome to the.
Especially as Jeff keeps that same rhythm for a little bit. Dum, dum, cha, dum, dum, cha, before then going back to that equal rhythm that was so familiar with from the original song, bum 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 bum.
Face, welcome to the human race. A celebration, Mr. Blue Skies up there.
And that change comes just after some funky rhythms on Human Race.
To the human race.
Some nice offbeats there. And again, some more nice claps going into Jeff's solo.
Oh,
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why.
It's interesting because Jeff's bass part before this was so dum, 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 you know, so percussive. When he isn't singing a bass line now, it's almost like there is still that bass part in Lane. If we listen to what Lane does,
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why.
those dum, dum, there's no pitch to them, but it's kind of halfway there to Jeff's sound. So it doesn't really feel like we're missing a bass line.
so long, where did we go wrong? Hey there, Mr. Blue, we're so pleased to be with you.
Again, a nice reduced section. They're making use of percussion in human body form with clicks. Lane's looking over
Look around,
like, ugh, these amateurs in the world of providing beats. Welcome to my world. Joking, of course. Lane looks very content. Such cool effects by him right afterwards, though, and Jeff too.
everybody smiles at you. Hey there, Mr. Blue Sky.
Lane and Jeff are working really well together in this. Their parts are really feeding well off each other. This is something I'm more used to seeing with pentatonics, for example, with Avi and Kevin or Matt and Kevin. And Ellie and Earl too, you know, just working so well together. Both with their distinctive voices and those upper tenor ranges.
We're so pleased to be with you. Look around, see you.
Not gonna lie, their voices here, they're reminding me of the Oogie Boogies song. I really, really love that one, so please do check out my reaction to that if you haven't already. Card up here. Jeff's line here, so good, so accurate.
Mr. Blue Sky, Mr. Blue.
So good. But this is the real standout part. The 3-part homophony between the guys in the middle. I know Earl's voice especially is suited for this kind of sound. This synthetic, non-human type of sound. When using a straight tone, there's no vibrato, no wobbles in the voice. It sounds synthetic because of how piercing it is, how direct it is.
Mr. Blue Sky.
But even Bynon there with that little chill. So are these effects added in here in post? They must be. Their voices sound like a harmonica.
Mr. Blue Sky.
So cool and such a nice homage to the original. Such a good arrangement.
But soon comes Mr. Knight, creeping over. Now his hand is on your shoulder. Never mind, I'll remember you this.
Yeah, I mean, I probably prefer the second half, actually. You can see it's a fun arrangement. Look how much fun Bynon is having here.
You did it right, but soon comes Mr.
With those little clicks. Must be so much fun to sing. And yeah, just once more, Earl's voice. This is my 3rd time hearing him, so I'm definitely not used to his voice. It's so unique.
Never mind, I'll remember you this.
That D up there.
Remember you this way.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Love the original song, love ELO, love VoicePlay. They definitely did it justice. And short, you know, short is good sometimes. Yeah, that's definitely got me in a good mood today. Alright, well, let's leave that one there. Thank you again for this request, and as always, thank you to everyone for watching. Would appreciate a like and subscribe. If you enjoy my content, want to support me, join the community and vote on future polls, you can do so by joining the Patreon linked on the screen, and I will see you next time.